It's my first visit, so I'm very excited to be here. We got here a day early, so we had half a day early, so I had a little chance to look around the beautiful old city, and it's been such beautiful weather for it as well, so it's been a wonderful experience. My favourite composer, well, I'm a big fan of many French composers like Ravel and Debussy, but there's a guy called Henri Dutilleux, who's a wonderful 20th century French composer who sadly died in the last few years, and I absolutely love his sense of harmony and his orchestration. But you know, there's so many, like with jazz musicians, you know, you get so much from so many different places when you listen to the great composers. I met Pat only in the last couple of years, really. We were in touch over email, just in correspondence, talking about music, and then eventually the opportunity came up to work together. So of course it's a great privilege to play with one of your absolute heroes, and Pat's music was partly responsible for getting me into jazz in the first place. So this really is a very emotionally important thing for me to enjoy being here and making music with him. No, well, this is Pat's new working band now, so this is his main quartet, and we'll be recording an album later in the year and touring a lot over the next couple of years, so this is Pat's current project. It's a pleasure, it's a fantastic honour to be here. I'm really looking forward to playing. My training was with classical music, and the thing that attracted me to jazz was a common ground in terms of some of the harmony and some of the melody. And for me, especially harmony is something that can really move you emotionally when you listen to music. And listening to people like Keith Jarrett and Pat Metheny and other musicians, great English musicians like John Taylor and Tim Garland, hearing the music that really connects with you is something that you aspire to yourself with your own music. So as your career goes on, you have different influences and different things that you love. And I guess you're always learning, which is the beautiful thing about being a musician. You never just wake up one day and think, right, this is what I do. You're constantly changing, getting new inspirations, developing, getting worse, getting better. All these things happen till the day you die, really. And for me, that's the really exciting thing about being a musician, that you're constantly on this journey which will last you the whole of your life. Well, for me, I was training to be a classical musician, and when I was about 14 or 15 years old, one of the teachers at my music school gave me a cassette, and there were lots of different musicians on that cassette, but the first 4 tracks were a Keith Jarrett track, and then 2 Pat Metheny tracks, and an Egberto Gismonti track. And those 4 pieces of music really changed everything for me, because I just loved the power and the expression and the emotion of that music, and it felt like a bridge, really. Those 4 pieces of music felt like a bridge from classical music over to jazz. There were some other things on the cassette which I connected less with, but those 4 things I could see how I could get from what I was doing at that time to what I would love to be doing in the world of jazz. So now I love both, really, and I write a lot of classical music too, and I love the area of music where you have some through-composed compositions but also intermingled with improvisation. Tonight at the concert we're playing all of Pat's music. We're playing a lot of Pat's great hits, and again it's a great privilege to play the music that I grew up listening to. Maybe in the future we'll get to write something together. We're playing a couple of Pat's new compositions specifically written for the band. So again, that's a great honour to have had music that's written with one in mind. So it's especially fun to play those. It's very interesting with jazz music because I think people can be very scared by the idea or by the word jazz sometimes, thinking that it'd be a very intellectual, very kind of obtuse music that's difficult to get into. But for me, there's a wonderful communication about jazz which is very unique to this type of music. It's like the musicians on stage are having a conversation, and our language is music. So I think if people listen to the music with that very much in mind, they can get the most out of it when they hear it.